is time. It is time to brew your best beer.
The 2016 SJPorr Challenge is dedicated to your friend and ours, Paul Wickstein. Brought to you by Brewcraft USA, iMake, Gladfield Malting, Yakima Valley Hops, The Grain Bill, Brewers Exchange, Keg Kingdom Homebrew Supply, Hiraki Homebrew, and a special thanks to our silver sponsors.
And here we go, last beer of the SJPorr US and Canada Finals. We're jumping into 87Z-84D-34U. This is the American Sour Session Ale. This is 4% alcohol in the bottle. I want to preemptively apologize to the brewer because I had this sitting in the fridge for quite some time, almost 2 weeks, I think, at least. And I was going to review it at my parents' house, so I delicately transported it there. I didn't get into it there, so on the way back, it tipped over. So it didn't look perfectly clear in the bottle to begin with, but I bet it would probably be more clear than it is now. It has had a day and a half to settle back down, so we're not talking chunks, but I do apologize for the slight mishandling. I'm excited to get into this. Said on the website that it was a session ABV, so a light ABV blonde ale done with a mixed fermentation. So we're talking Brett, Saccharomyces, and Lactobacillus. Pouring out a very straw. Actually, it looks a little bit lighter on the camera than it actually does in person, which is kind of the opposite normal. It looks like it's glowing in the video. It is a nice color. It doesn't quite look like that. It's a little bit darker in person. Kind of it's like straw with a little bit of orange tint to it. It almost looks like a really light orange juice. Again, it's cloudy. You can't really see through it. Again, I seriously apologize if it doesn't look like this when it's been sitting for a little while. But it doesn't really detract from it. It's still a nice looking beer. Like I said, it's almost like a light colored orange juice color. It poured out with a little bit of head, but it was kind of spritzy, and it's kind of died off at this point. So no real cap to speak of. Those are just some kind of random bubbles at the side. You see a few bubbles in the beer itself, but it's a nice looking beer. So let's get a nose on it. Right away, it is complex in its aroma. It's definitely comes out as being a sour ale, but it doesn't just hit you with tartness. There's a complexity there that's very obviously coming from the integration of Brett and some of the lactopediote. It has a really nice kind of lemony tartness to it. Maybe even some light tropical fruit notes, some guava in there. Wow, it's pretty darn tropical for not having any fruit in it of itself, and not the hops. The hops wouldn't be doing this either. It's very inviting, but you can tell it's going to be tart. A complex nose on this. I'm impressed for sure. Man, there's something I'm trying to pin on, and I can't quite get it. I can't get the descriptor. Maybe it'll come to me in a little bit. Very inviting nose. I'm expecting this to be pretty tasty. Here we go. Cheers. That's lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. First off, I love sour beer. I love all things sour beer. It's definitely tart. It's not crazy overly tart. It's higher than, the acidity's higher than any of the other ones I've had in the competition so far. But it's not out of this world. It doesn't really make me pucker or kind of wince or anything. To me, that is a beautiful, bright level of acidity. It kind of wakes up your tongue. The carbonation is definitely there. It's much more present in the taste and the flavor and the mouthfeel than it is visually. But what that acidity does is it doesn't have to be all that carbonated in the glass along with that acidity to still keep it nice and bright. And it kind of dances off your tongue. It's not prickly, but it dances off your tongue because of the acidity. So I really like the carb level in this. I don't think you'd want it to be any higher, or else I think it would become kind of prickly on your tongue and kind of fight with some of the flavors. It's got a good mouthfeel to it. It's on the light side, but it's more towards the medium light than thin. So I like the mouthfeel. The flavor is very lemon present. It's pretty lemon forward, which I've gotten that with some lacto-pedio beers as well as Brett beers that are just Brett and Saccharomyces. But these are playing really well together. The lactic acid bacteria and that Brett have created a very complex, fruity, lemony citrus. Impressively complex. It's definitely not a sipper, or it is a sipper. It's definitely not one that you're going to sit back and chug, but it's light on the tongue. It finishes semi-dry. It doesn't totally dry you out, but it's just dry enough to kind of want to make you come back for a little bit more. There's a hint, just a hint of sweetness on the end to where it doesn't really bite the end of your tongue. This is, I mean, it's a commercial grade sour for sure. You can tell this has been around for a while too. Let me preface this statement with by saying this won't affect my score of this beer whatsoever, because this is a marvelous beer. Marvelous. It's a treat. This beer's been around for a long time. I would guess if this beer has only been around 6 months or so, I'd be blown away by the culture that you have on hand that is creating this in 6 months. I only say that because I would doubt this was made specifically for this challenge. Let's put it that way. I would guess this is probably 1.5 years or so old to have this level of complexity. Yeah, it's just got a lot of beautiful citrusy, tart flavors going on in there. Some hints of like orange peel, orange zest, a little, almost just a twinge of grapefruit in there. It's really nicely citrus, created by all those bugs in there. I do feel like it's been around for quite a while. This was not a short little project here. I wouldn't call it it is definitely meets the criteria of the challenge, which is what we were tasked to do, under 4.5%. It is a session beer by definition of that. I don't know that I would sit down and have a bunch of these. This is one that I would absolutely love to stock my fridge with and have one, you know, one every couple weeks or so, every 3 weeks, and just see how this evolves over time. It's not one I'm going to sit down and crush on a hot day. It would be perfectly refreshing on a hot day, but it's not one you're just going to sit back and kind of pound. That being said, it sounds like I'm dogging this. I am not whatsoever. This is really, really well done. The only thing that I could pick up is aesthetically wishing it had a little head on it just to make it look nice, but truly that's sometimes hard to do, especially with really long aged sours, which I think this is. But nonetheless, fantastic. Fantastic. I think I would if you would have poured this, since I'm in Georgia, I'm in the area, if you poured this and I didn't know what it was and you asked me to name what it was as far as brewery, I would probably say Wicked Weed. It's very Wicked Weed reminiscent from its flavor profiles. The Brett and the LAB are very Wicked Weed like. You also get some apricot in there. I think that's what I was trying to get. In the nose and in the flavor, you definitely get some apricot. Yeah, that's what it was. Definitely. Definitely some apricot presence. Just a tad peachiness. I'm going to stop. Beautiful beer. Well done. I'm impressed for sure. I think this is it for me. I'm going to go score this. I'm going to go enjoy this because I want to sit with this for a while. But well done, brewer. This is 87Z-84D-34U. And this is my last review for the U.S. Finals, Canada Finals. So cheers to all the brewers out there. Good luck. I'm doing this last minute. We're going to get to figure out our scores pretty soon. So cheers. Good luck to everybody out there. And we'll catch you later.